Good morning. It's Kim again. Today it is June 25th, and it's our weekly walkabout. Today is going to be real life, what it looks like. Kind of things are a little bit of a mess because typically I would be able to mow the lawn and stuff. Saturday is kind of more of the grooming the garden day. And Sunday is the walk through and enjoy it day. So you'll see I did some grooming, but we have had, so all week long, hot, sunny weather. And then this weekend, it's been gloomy, misty, foggy. It's me, Ruda. Ruda, it's just me. So everything's damp and wet. Not enough rain to water stuff, unfortunately, but enough to keep from mowing the lawn. I could have still picked up my mess, though, realistically. But I usually just mow over it and it kind of mulches into the grass. So, all right, let's get started. Let's see what it looks like this week. Things are still very lush and green. And I want to say it's been my best rose year ever here. I was quite fed up with roses, and this year I have renewed hope. All right, let's see. Here's the lilies that are still being eaten by the red lily beetle, making a mess of them. These are probably the worst looking out of all of them. You can just see it's actually like excrement. See all that black stuff that's on the leaves? I think, from what I understand, and I could be wrong on this, they kind of bury their eggs in it. The beetle itself is actually red. Trying to see if we can see any underneath the leaves or on them. But they are really eating. But that one has flowered, the red one, back there, even with the damage. So we'll see. I cut out some of them. Back up a little here. Some of the daffodil foliage that was down there behind the lavender that's getting ready to bloom. Love the smell of it. And it was, the daffodil foliage was laying over it and causing the lavender to lay down, so I cut that out. And now it's standing back up better. We found this rock, this huge rock, in our pasture. So my husband brought it up and set it there. He thought for sure I'd want to use it somewhere in my garden. It's there for now. We'll see if it gets moved somewhere else. The daylilies are getting ready to bloom. Lots of buds on there. The dahlias, the plants themselves are looking good. The Queen of Sweden is blooming. The only thing I wish, and they smell beautiful, they are beautiful. By the way, a lot of people have asked, I'm in zone 4B, right off of Lake Ontario in upstate New York. So we get, we're in the snow belt on the Tug Hill Plateau, and we get snow. It snows here like crazy. Has that potential. So, needless to say, my roses all die back to the ground. Doesn't matter if they're a climber, doesn't matter what they are. They pretty much die back to the ground. So every year, pretty much. I'll show you my one Queen of Sweden didn't this year. So as a result, my roses never get huge. This is, like I say, the biggest they've ever gotten. And the buds themselves aren't huge, but maybe that's like a Queen of Sweden thing. Maybe the blooms themselves are not huge. We still have the Stand By Me clematis blooming. The blooms that look like the little ruffled skirts. Love them. And like I say, the lavender is blooming. Planted some lavender from seed this year during the winter. And I've planted it throughout. Because I did have one lavender die. This lavender died, but I put a one that I grew from seed in there. We'll see. I've started to pull out the tulip foliage. It's pretty much died back, as you can see. This is my new plant this week. I had talked about last week how I was going to put a gold mop cypress for some evergreen interest and that yellow pop of color. There it is. That was a size 3. So pleasantly surprised. I have ordered, I'll show you the 1 gallon, the difference between the 1 gallon and the 3 gallon size. Evergreens grow slowly, and I didn't want to have to wait forever for that. The Nepeta, here the purple, it's going over. We'll probably trim it back soon so it can flush out again. Maybe it'll get done before next week's walk around. But bees are still loving it. It's still doing its thing. Tons of blooms on this daylily. That candy corn spirea is still surviving there. This Stand By Me clematis has quite a few blooms and flowers. Not sure why that one has more than the rest. That one would get less sun. This is my Queen of Sweden that didn't die to the ground this year. I have 2 of them, one on each end. Something is definitely eating the foliage bad, as you can see. And I could put something on it, but I'm really trying to build my soil. So I'm trying not to use anything synthetic so that it doesn't kill off any of the good bugs, and just kind of let nature take its course. I moved that hydrangea. I'm not sure if I showed it, and I've got this part of the Queen of Sweden fallen on it, but I moved that hydrangea that was burning out from the other end there. All right, up through the pathway, we'll take a look at our, this is almost a full shade. It does get sun down this end. It would get a little bit of sun from here out. I have, I want to say 2 clematis here, and they're along the fence. One there, and they're going crazy. I have some roses in there as well. I know I have 3 roses in here, but I'm thinking this one is Litchfield. It hasn't bloomed yet. This darker yellow one is Poet's Wife. Oh, the light yellow one. I'll try to remember to put the name on there. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And again, it has put on, I don't know, that's at least 3 feet of growth just this season. Some hollyhocks in the back there. They're a dark one, kind of like the color of the house. So I really wish they were a different color, I'm not gonna lie. My lamium is like really taken over in there. I got tired of weeding it. If you've watched my videos long enough, you'll know. I was concerned that they would grow under, but it looks like they're just going to attempt to grow right over the top of the sidewalk. Well, we'll see. I have some hydrangeas down there so I need to like, ouch, got into the rose there a little bit. I need to trim out so that they can get some light. Trim around them a little bit. This hydrangea here has got tons of buds, which I'm very happy about because it blooms on old wood. And that's very difficult for us in this location because of the snow load. And even just the location, I don't know if you can see that, but the snow coming off the roof there really can get piled in here. But the one year, because we can get 4 feet in a day just while we're at work. The winters have been more mild lately than when we first moved here. So it's been a couple years since we got one of those kind of storms. But it does happen. So I had my husband put a piece of plywood over top of that one winter to protect it, and that is about the only year it didn't bloom at all. I got like 2 blooms over here that weren't under the plywood. So, no protection. It's either blooms on its own or not. There's the rain collection trough that I use to water my plants. For the most part, the fertilizer I use is the fish fertilizer. It's there in that can. My house plants. I have some ferns back here, some columbine that were from a seed I planted last year maybe. So they've never flowered for me. I'm hoping this is the year. This is a lemony lace elderberry that I planted there because I was pretty sure it arrived dead. But as you can see, thankfully, it's starting to push out some leaves. Yay. This container's doing well. I still wish this hosta was bigger. I wanted that color to contrast. But you can't, well, you can see it on this side. I got 2 leaves there. And I thought hopefully that the lime-time coleus would also add But this middle hosta is kind of stealing the show. No, Ruda. All right, back out this way. This container's still doing well. Those impatiens really kind of fluffing up. Baby girl, do you want to go on the walk with me, huh? All right, back down the trail. The peonies have popped, the Sarah Bernhardts, and they're doing exactly what Sarah Bernhardts do. Even they flop. Even with my new props and only like a mist of rain. My husband said jokingly that he thinks you could sneeze and they would flop. They do smell good. There's not a huge fragrance, but in the evening it seems that you can smell them. So they're not completely horrible as far as, I don't think they're impeding anything, that they're not actually laying on anything. But it would be nice if they stood a little more upright. That one in there is just about completely shaded. So it has a few blooms on it, but I still like the foliage. It still fills in kind of under that hydrangea. So even if I don't get flowers on it, it looks fluffy. It's the only way I can describe it. So there they are. This one I put up the highest, but as you can see, I didn't get all the flowers in there because I'm not going to lie, I wanted it to look a little natural. I didn't really want it to look like they were staked, but I guess that's just not really possible with a peony. So those ones are the most upright. This one is the same cage, so I could have raised it. Could have raised that one more. Like in that window box, the impatiens add a pop of color. The banana tree is still pushing out some new growth. The last week's leaf still looks normal, not tattered. And then we've got this maroon spike is this week's leaf. This peony here is flopping the worst. It is completely laying down on that daylily. But that daylily hasn't, it's blooming, but it hasn't, I mean, it has buds, but it hasn't started blooming, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. I'll let the peony blooms continue. And I'm not going to lie, peony blooms, those blooms are so huge. Let me see if I can give you, like, compared to my hand. I mean, I don't have huge hands, but when all those petals fall off, it is quite a mess as well. But I can't, those are huge mature plants. I can't see, I don't know what I would switch them out with. I know I should switch them maybe eventually with like a coral charm, something that is more of a single blooming peony, not so ruffled. They don't flop it like these ones do. But anyway, so even the clematis that was growing in it is partially down here. It's made it to the top. The clematis has made it to the top of, just about to the top of that arborvitae, North Pole arborvitae. And then it's there. It's starting to bloom. It's doing what I want it to do. This is what I envisioned. It blooming, having, let's see if I can tuck that in behind. Give it something to attach to. This is what I love. And I've got a lot of blooms right there. I want my clematis to bloom in my hydrangea before the hydrangea. Oh, I mean, I would love it if they bloomed at the same time. But this was kind of the goal, to be a trellis for my clematis and to get clematis blooms in the hydrangea. And it's doing exactly what I want it to do. So, yay. The millennium alliums are still budding up. No new blooms there. The iris are definitely going over. The lady's mantle, Alchemilla mollis, is flowering. Some more Nepeta. The salvia is still going strong. I think it's May night salvia. Another Morden blush roses. No smell to them, but just covered this year. My delphinium is still, the blooms haven't opened yet. My seeds have still not sprouted yet. I'm hoping, holding out hope. I have an iceberg rose there, the white one. I have a clematis, which the tag is down in there somewhere, but I would have to maneuver that rose bush in order to find it. So, not sure the names of the clematis. And the Glow Girl spirea that I absolutely love. I love the shape of the leaves. They're very kind of round. And that was bought in a 1-quart pot last year, maybe fallish or summer, late summer. So it's doing really well there. Loves its spot. Some evergreens tucked in way back there. I should prune that hydrangea back a little bit. I have a baptisia back there that kind of got buried by the lilies. These are eyeliner lilies and they're tall. I don't know. I'm 5'2", and that might be, one back there might be taller than me. I see a red lily beetle. I'm going to try to get to it. No, I didn't want to maneuver around this rose bush. I just kind of wanted to show you, if you've never seen one, what one looks like. That right there is the lily nemesis. Yes, I could probably smush it. Should probably smush it. They typically fall to the ground, and the underside of them is black, so they blend in with the ground, and then you can't see to kill them. That's their defense mechanism. Let me see, since I'm in here, if I can find this clematis tag. No, not without digging through the rows. Oh, I forgot I have a hardy hibiscus also underneath that hosta. That is huge. But I am loving that hosta, I am telling you. And it's amazing how much sun it gets and it doesn't burn out. These I'm hoping are helenium. I have discovered that I'm letting some weeds grow. Not that I'm, as most of you know, a weeder, but I've noticed that some of them have a white flower, and the helenium that is growing in my garden has a yellow flower. So I've decided to take out that rose, or at least move it. It does have a bunch of buds on it back there. That's a zephyrin rose. But it just doesn't grow enough back there to show. Over top of the elephant in the room, the Hosta, that is just so huge. That Hosta has to be at least 5 feet wide now at this point. I mean, it's all the way from there to there, and probably the same. It's probably 5 feet by 5 feet. So I have purchased a it's a hibiscus, but it's not the, it's different. It's blue chiffon. And it's supposed to be like a huge shrub, 8 to 10 feet by 6 to 8 feet wide or something like that. I bought a 3-gallon size, so hopefully it will grow. It is, full disclosure, a zone 5. I do have some zone 5 stuff that seems to survive, like this iceberg rose is not rated for my zone. And I have thought I've lost it a couple of times. Last year we got down to minus 17 Fahrenheit was the coldest it got. And it was only one night, I believe. So hopefully it'll be sheltered from the house. This would be the east side of the house. So hopefully it will survive in a little bit of a sheltered position. I have some more lilies here. I'm not sure. They're the really tall ones. This is their first year. I want to say they're a trumpet type lily. Again, there's red lily beetle on those, but it kind of seems like the damage mostly. I have one over here I'll show you that looks like it damaged the bloom, but it actually might be recovering. It seems for the most part, and let me show you down here. Look how much lily beetle excrement, I guess you would say. I don't know what is a YouTube appropriate term. They seem to really start at the bottom and kind of eat their way up to the top. So other than the fact that, yeah, I just showed you that red lily beetle is at the top eating that leaf. But these are clearly going to flower and do their thing. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be enough foliage left over to absorb sunshine for next year's blooms. So we'll see. But if they're damaging, so that's pretty hidden. If you stand back, you have to know what you're looking for. It doesn't look as as bad or as ratty as the ones there on the front walkway, which I think I'm taking those lilies out. Just haven't decided what to put there. But anyway, so I'm okay with that, what the red lily beetle is doing there. It's hidden. I'm still going to get massive, beautiful blooms. And as you can see, we get these, I think they're a grape type vine. I don't know. I pull them out because it can be invasive, aggressive. I can't say I pull it all the way out because that is and just for the record, I have a ton of snakes this year. We don't have any poisonous snakes, no biting snakes, but not a huge snake fan. Just gonna put that out there. So I hate to go traipsing around when I can't see my feet or I can't see the path ahead of me. All right, moving on. I have some of my verbena Bonariensis coming back from last year. I'm excited for that. I have a Dalmatian peach foxglove coming back from last year. A bunch of them, you can see where it reseeded. And I mulched, and I was wondering if I mulched too much over top of them. And I also have a thistle here that I don't typically weed, but ouch. Not weeding that one again with my bare hands. We will maybe come back with a glove. All right, here's the one. It is the bloom on this lily. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if that's the lily beetle that did it to that, or if it's just kind of deformed in some way. That lily's not as strong and as tall. I think this is one of these weeds that is supposed to be helenium, but I don't know. So there you go. You just saw me weed. You're a witness. I did it. I pulled a weed. All right, moving on. Hardy hibiscus. I considered moving one of them out to that front spot where I have one trying to grow. It would give me a nice established plant. The leaves would turn dark because the more sunshine they get, the darker those leaves are. Give me a dark accent in the front bed. But I just haven't pulled the trigger on that. I just don't know. I have some more lilies back there. I also have Japanese anemone growing back there. My lemony lace elderberry's doing great since I transplanted it. It's a nice little pop of color. Different color foxglove, white with the purple center. I don't know what that one is. I don't know. I don't remember. All of my foxglove, though, are planted from seed. Strawberries are just, it is strawberry season. I do come through and eat them, but wow. It is definitely strawberry season. I planted some iris, the dark purple, and they're starting to come up right down in there and right down in there, right there. Planted 3 though, and I only see 2 so far. Nice stringy foliage like the one in the side bed. All right. out. Now to the side yard. I don't know if I've explained this fence deal. This is the dogs under wire fence. And it used to run, and my husband got a little tired of me piercing it with my shovel. So this is his temporary solution for me. Then here's this weed. See, I've been letting a bunch of these tall weeds grow because I thought they were helenium, but clearly not. They have that white flower. They're going to get pulled because I don't want a weed growing here. See what we got. We got lupins back here. I never show the back side. I never really come around the back side of this bed. We have another hardy hibiscus. I want to say it's something storm from Proven Winners. I have cone flowers, and look at the foxgloves. And these are the Dalmatian peach. They are just outstanding right now, and the bloom does keep getting taller and taller. I was talking about how short they were this year. Those are all reseeded from last year. Ah, I love it. But you can kind of see what our weather's been all weekend. Foggy and misty. Not enough rain to penetrate the ground, but... And this is the lilac. Lilac? I forget, it's a French lilac. But see the leaves? This is how it came. And I thought maybe it got hit by frost or temperature extreme in the mail. I don't know. It was bent over, but that was because the box was the height of the box. But I don't know. I don't know if it has some sort of a disease or what. It's got maybe some healthy new growth. We'll see. New evergreen. It's a pencil point juniper, zone 2 through 7. And of course my honeysuckle, which the intention of my honeysuckle was for it to grow up the arbor. And it does a little bit. You can see the dead stuff. One year it made it up there. But it's pretty. I'm going to see if I can smell it. Oh yeah, it does smell. Like that's the first time I've really been able to smell it. I don't have the best smeller, but yeah. So it's trying. You can see it's growing up there a little bit. Wonder if that's what my husband smells when he comes in. He said the side yard, when you walk into the side yard, there's a strong smell of sunflower. There's my midnight masquerade, Penstemon. Starting to put up some bloom stalks. Okay, so this is my 1 gallon gold mop cypress. There's a huge size difference between and they were both bought from Home Depot, not sponsored. But there's a huge difference between a 1 gallon and a 3 gallon. And of course the huge mushroom. So we're assuming that it must be the wood chips I get, because we are mushroom central. I kind of like them. I don't know. I think they're cute. They remind me of a little bit of like a fairy garden. This container is still not taken off like I would like. Oh, I see that sweet potato vine has come back to life. And this one Prince Tut grass is looks like it's gonna live. Have some more cone flowers. This is almwick rose. It's beautiful, beautiful color. And then I might have to do something. I don't know if that rose is gonna make it. Its foliage is so eaten so bad. That is the new Proven Winners flavorette, honey, apricot, flavorette, something rose. It's supposed to be edible. Don't imagine I'm gonna eat a rose. Just saying. I don't even do tea, so I don't use the rose hips. Excited for the cone flowers. This is the first time I have ever gotten cone flowers to come back for me. These were all planted last year. So I thought it was a zone thing, but now I'm wondering a little bit if I didn't pull them out thinking they were weeds or something. I don't know. I don't weed much. I've confessed to that, so. But their foliage does look quite a bit like weeds. This clematis is growing again. It bloomed beautifully, as you can see in some of the photos, and now it's taken off up the arbor. Now these are foxgloves that I planted from seed this year. They are not, they're a biennial, and I want to say they're strawberry. I don't know. I know they're not peach. They might be strawberry, so they will hopefully bloom for me next year. New peony, first time bloomer. Looks like Bowl of Beauty. And I have a white one that looks like it's also going to be a single. Another first time bloomer. My first white. I actually wondered if I had a white one. Was looking at them online because, you know, you have to have one of every color. And I am leaning more towards the singles because of the flopping thing. Here's my phlox, ultra pinks. Seem to be doing fine with all the dry weather. Here's my beautiful Lady of Shalott. It just has so many colors in there. It's just, oh, absolutely beautiful. My Bartzella Edo peony. It's blooming. The bloom is facing towards the roses. This is Munstead Wood. It's going over now. But the colors on here, too, are just, it's a fuchsia and a purple and, oh, just, and there's more roses. There was more blooms on this bush than there was greenery, I swear. Just beautiful. And like I say, I planted some more lilies. Or, no, not lilies, iris. I think I said they were iris back there, the grass like that's coming up. That one's not coming up yet. Man, the smell here is phenomenal. Oh, that one's coming up. I've got one coming up back there anyway. Oh, the smell is just Awesome. I have some verbena bonariensis coming up back there. I love that. I love verbena bonariensis. I also have to say, so we have a farm. So we have a lot of we have a lot of land. I shouldn't say it's a lot. It's close to 40 acres. So we don't manage all of 40 acres, obviously. So I have this section next to the chicken run that we let grow up. And I actually love the grasses that are growing behind there and how they sway in the wind. So score one for nature there behind my flower bed. I just mow a path to kind of keep it from, to show that there's a line between my flower bed and that. I actually would kind of like to stack. I would like to make we'll either continue the fence someday to make a line, or I would like to stack some wood back there for kind of like nature, for bug hotels, that sort of thing. I would love to do that. The onions still haven't flowered yet. The problem is, part of our heating here in upstate New York is wood. I know that can be sometimes controversial, and I apologize for that, but we clearly have tons of forest. We do not mess with this. In fact, we border state forest, so this will always be forest. But we do burn some wood for heat in the winter. It's one of the most cost-effective ways for us to heat in our extremely cold temperatures. So the only reason I add all that in is because stacking wood back here would kind of be, I don't know, my husband would say it was a waste of the wood. So it's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to end up to be a fence someday, or it'll stay like that. All right, my dicentra is doing very well. This is the only one that maybe hasn't put on much new growth. These have put on a lot of new growth. These little tufts down in the center. This is a gold mound spirea, which kind of spreads flat over here. It's the same as the one that's in the front of the house. Moved it over here because it wasn't getting enough sun where it was. And it was getting drowned out by those Sarah Bernhardt peonies. And here it has a very spreading habitat. I need to move that shrub. It's encroaching on those iris. This is the same kind of iris that I planted in those other spots. This week I have to move. That shrub is bothering me. It's a goldberry ilex, maybe? There's some white foxgloves that have reseeded themselves for a couple years now. I love foxglove. I have some lamb's ear in the back that planted itself there. I planted a little Vista jazzberry in the milk container with my seed planted Silver Falls, which is not looking so great. But with our dry weather, I really need to keep that watered better. The Kinsley's Ghost Honeysuckle, the wild hair plant, It's going over now. Doesn't have as many blooms on it. We have a self-seeded foxglove, the one with the purple inside, seeded itself, or a bird seeded it over here. Nothing new over here yet. Oh yeah, there is. I bought some scabiosa. I haven't planted them yet because I was still trying to decide if that's where they're gonna go.